Welcome back to Introduction to Engineering Design. Today we're going to talk a little bit about additive and subtractive solid modeling using Solidworks. So up to this point you've been working mostly making a model by adding material to it. And we're going to review that process real quick, and then we're going to take a look at another way to do that, which is to take material away. Now, just as a refresher, remember that solid modeling basically is 3D CAD process, and it shows the volume of an object. And with that volume, we can go ahead and attach properties such as material strength, density, things like that. So it's not really a wireframe model. Instead, it's a solid surface model. And a wireframe model doesn't really give you the full appreciation for the volume of the enclosed object. Now, we won't use a lot of wireframe models in this class. You may see some. Solidworks is capable of making a wireframe model, but it really just depicts a wireframe out of the solid object. So here's a solid model, and this solid model has basically things embedded in it. By its density, we can calculate the weight of the object or the mass of the object, and we can also calculate things like the surface area of the outside of the model, the volume, and a few other attributes, physical attributes, which we'll learn about later. Now, we can either make a solid model through a process of additive and or subtractive processes. Now, if you think about it, when we started the modeling process, we started by adding, and what we did was we made a sketch and then we extruded that sketch. Now, that's the normal way to start a model, and that's natural because you can't subtract from something that doesn't exist. So we always start by making a volume of material for the base of the model. So every CAD solid modeling program uses some sort of additive or subtractive techniques, and we're going to cover a few. Today we're going to basically just talk about the very basic subtractive technique of what is called an extruded cut. Now, you may hear about this as a Boolean operation, and that just means that it's either on or off. So I'm either adding material, a 1, or I'm subtracting material. So let's take a little look at this. So in an additive method, what we basically do is we make a three-dimensional object by combining two or more simple forms, two or more shapes. Now, we can make real-world objects basically by constructing them similarly by like gluing two boards together, welding two pieces of metal together, mechanically fastening with a bolt two pieces of metal together. Now, that additive method, in a review, if we look at this part in the upper right-hand corner where my cursor is flashing, and I wanted to make that by an additive method, what I may do is make these two extrusions, two separate extrusions, and then push them together. Conversely, I could use method 2, which is to make the L on the bottom and a rectangle on the top. And I could even use method 3. Wouldn't be very effective, but I could make a series of small blocks and join them all together. Now, we can do that in a CAD modeling program, and there isn't a right way or a wrong way, as long as all of your sketches are fully defined and your extrusions work. I will tell you, you always want to seek the easiest way, the simplest way. So let's take a quick look at a fairly simple way to make this model. So I'm going to make this model similarly to method 1. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a solid portion with constant thickness. Now, this is just a review from what you've learned already, and it's going to be 0.75 inches thick. So I start out by sketching that shape. It doesn't really matter what plane I start in. I started in the front plane on this particular model, and I dimension it. You'll notice my sketch is all black, meaning that it is fully defined. Once I've got that dimensioned, I now extrude it out, and I extrude it to 0.5 inches. You can see the dimensions of the underlying sketch in this extrusion. And now I've got my first part. Now, the next portion of this is I need to add the small rectangle or small square to the front of the model that's shown in blue. So the way I'm going to do that is to go ahead and start a sketch on the face of the object we just made. I'll apply the appropriate dimensions to that sketch, and then I'm going to extrude it out 0.75 inches. Now in SolidWorks, the default, if it can, is it makes it one solid body. So it adds that little extrusion onto the existing body. And there I have my final part. That's just a quick review. Now we've done several parts in this methodology, just adding material. Now let's talk about a subtractive process. And we can think about a subtractive process as one where I take a larger block and then cut material away. Frequently, this is a much simpler way to model the same part. Now, in the real world, this cutting away may be represented by sawing or milling or drilling or grinding or turning. Many different industrial processes can accomplish the removal of material, or perhaps lasering. So the subtractive method, I start out with a larger block, and that's kind of shown here. And I go ahead and start to cut material away. If I cut this shape out of my larger block, I end up with my final shape. And you can see that, well, that's a little bit easier. That's pretty much one big block and then one small sketch. And then I can go ahead and cut away the top notch and end up with the same shape. So it's not necessarily easier or better, just a different way of doing it. So let's look at the subtractive method in detail. On this example, follow along in class. So go ahead and in SolidWorks, start a new part and be sure you're in inch pound seconds for units, IPS, in the lower right hand corner. So let's create this shape in our 3D modeling software with the subtractive method. First, we're going to make a rectangular solid, which will enclose the entire part. Now, as I look at this solid, I need to do some calculations. If each square is 0.75 inches, this solid cube is 2.25 inches wide, 1.5 inches tall, and 1.5 inches deep. So start out on any plane and sketch this 2.25 by 1.5 rectangle. That represents the front face of the object. And extrude that out to 1.5 inches. You'll have something that looks like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sketch on the front the small shaded square in the lower left-hand corner, right here where my cursor's flashing. This is what we're going to remove, and we're actually going to remove all the material but that small square. So in this instance, I go ahead and do a sketch of a corner rectangle. I attach that to the lower left corner of the model. You can see that by the coincidence symbol where my cursor is flashing. Notice the lines are blue, meaning it's not dimensioned and it's not defined. Once I apply dimensions in height and width of 0.750, you'll see that the lines turn black and your sketch should say fully defined. You can pause the video and get this step done. Okay, now that you've got it fully defined, what next thing you're going to do is a cut extrude. Now the symbol for cut extrude you'll find up on the menu bar, the top of SolidWorks, is this extruded cut. And what you want to do is select blind 0.750 inches and then flip the side to cut. Now that checkbox, flip side to cut, means that we're going to cut everything outside of the shaded sketch that we made. Once you've got that, accept the check mark and you'll see that it cuts all the material away. Similarly, we're now going to take and cut away this upper right-hand corner. To do that, we basically want to remove that material by doing a sketch in this upper right corner. So you're going to make a sketch on this new surface where my cursor is flashing. And there's the sketch. Notice again that it is coincident, the corner of that rectangle is coincident with the corner of the underlying object. Make your sketch, dimension your sketch 0.75 by 0.75, And now do that extruded cut, except you're going to make this one through all, and we're going to cut the square out. So we do not want the flip side to cut. Checked. We're going to cut out the square, literally. And there you see the square cut out. And voila, you've got your finished part. Now go ahead and save this as 1.2.2, and I just called it B1. Save it as anything that will identify it as 1.2.2b as the model. You don't have to submit this part. This was just an exercise. It's an exercise for you to see how to do extruded cuts. Now, reality is most objects are modeled most efficiently through a combination of additive and subtractive. There's no right or wrong way. I'm looking for you to figure out what's the most efficient way, the least number of steps, the least amount of defining. So let's look at some of these. Here's a part you're going to make, and I can either make it additive or subtractive. So you'll see that my first step, I make the bottom, and for that matter, I could actually make that an L. So 1 and 2 could be combined. 3, I cut that little notch out. 4, I cut a second notch out, and I have my result. So that's a combination of additive and subtractive methods. So some of the constraints, we talk about constraints, you have to apply some constraints when you're doing additive and subtractive modeling, and you've seen some of that. One of the constraints, like the corner rectangle, is putting it so that it's coincident. So line up things to the underlying geometry as much as possible. So let's talk about some review on some of our modeling techniques. So up to now, we've learned quite a few skills, and this is a quick review of them. So first question is, how can we tell if a model is fully defined? Well, there's 3 really easy ways. The first one, look at the color of the sketch. And you see the sketch in this instance is completely black. That means there's no undefined lines or points. From the same sketch, if I look in the lower right-hand corner of my Solidworks software, I'll see the word fully defined. And the third thing is look at the name of the sketch. Sketch 5, you'll see it does not have a minus symbol in front of it. So that indicates that it's fully defined as well. So that's how we can tell a model is fully defined. Remember, we always want to fully define all of our sketches. How do we zoom in and out? Yep, we use that cursor, the mouse wheel, and we zoom in and out. Now remember, it zooms in and out based upon where our cursor is. All right, this one got a little bit messed up. So how do we roll the model? And that answer is we press and hold our mouse wheel. When we press and hold our mouse wheel, the body rotates around. And the last question, how do we change views? So we change views by hitting the space bar, and up pops this little menu right where my cursor is flashing. Now I can select different views: the top, the front, the right, the isometric, and normal too. So that comes from the view orientation cube. That's that floating toolbar right in front of you. Now there are a couple of shortcuts for that also. And on this view orientation, I can hit Control 5. That will give me the top view. I can hit Control 1. That will give me the front view. And I can hit Control 7. That will give me the isometric view. So a few shortcuts for you. Now our assignment for this module, you don't have to submit the part that you just made. But what I do want you to do is to make another part. And one last thing on view orientation. Sometimes if I click these are kind of useful in different instances, but this is predominantly what we'll use as a single view pane. You can split it vertically or horizontally, vertically, and into quads. Those are the view panes. Now our assignment, 1.2.2c. If you navigate in Canvas to that, you're going to find that I want you to make this part through a combination of additive and subtractive extrusions. I showed you the steps to do that briefly in the overview. You take a closer look and figure out the best way to make it. The next one is the same thing, a combination of additive and subtractive. But remember, on this particular model, you need to be in millimeters, grams, and seconds. So you're going to have to change your units in the lower right-hand corner to make that function correctly. And that's all there is to additive and subtractive modeling for today. Go ahead and complete those 2 exercises and submit those in Canvas. Thanks for watching.